The first changes in scope and nature of the advertising industry today is the changing advertising agency relationships. The advertising agency relationship refers to the way in which advertisements are presented to the targeted market by advertising agencies. This relationship is changing as traditional ways to reach mass market shift into the digital era. The advertising process today is evolving from existing models of planning and negotiating purchase of media space to meeting clients or advertisers' communication needs. Over the last 2 centuries, advertising agencies have been brokers of media space, buying pages in newspapers and periodicals and selling them to advertisers. Today, the business environment is more complex for advertising agencies. For example, simple products have become multifaceted products such as banking services that previously provided loans to customers would now also provide insurance facilities that can be accessed through online means for servicing. If in the 19th century revenue were based on commission, today we see advertising moving to a result-based revenue model of fees, time costs, supervision fees, and profit sharing. Also, there is a need to devise ways to remain consistently appealing in delivering results in order to compete with other advertising agencies. So I hope this explains how the scope and nature of the advertising industry has shaped and changed the advertising agency relationship with the customers and market. You can also find the summary of this information in the next slide. Scope and nature of advertising industry. Different types of advertising. The advertising produced and placed by ad agencies can be classified according to the purpose of advertising and the target market. You may be familiar with the following type of advertising, and let's go through one by one. The first one is known as institutional or corporate advertising. It promotes companies' name and reputations beside their product and services to inspire confidence in consumer in order to sell its product easier. Some institutional or corporate advertising promote only the company's image, such as Coca-Cola support the US Olympic team. But some advertising sells the image and sells the product at the same time. The second type of advertising is known as trade or professional advertising. It is a consumer product advertising designed to stimulate wholesaler or retailer to purchase products for resale to their customers. The third one is retail advertising. It is a large part of the advertising that we see every day, focuses on products sold by retailers such as Giant, McDonald's, Pizza Hut, and others. Advertisements are typically local, reaching consumers where they live and where they shop. The next one is promotional retail advertising. This type of advertising typically placed by retailers. Promotional advertising focuses not on a product but on a promotion, a special event held by a retailer. Midnight madness sale or back to school sale. These are two promotions that often benefit from heavy advertising, particularly in newspaper and local television. Industrial advertising. Advertising of a product and services directed toward a particular industry is usually found in industry trade publication. For example, Computer World magazine in Malaysia. It is one of the primary trade magazine for the IT industry. The next advertising is called National Consumer Advertising. National consumer advertising constitutes the majority of what we see in the media we routinely consume. It is usually product advertising, commissioned by manufacturers such as McDonald's, Honda, Sony, Nike, for example, aimed at potential buyers. The next type of advertising is known as direct market advertising. Product or service advertising aimed at likely buyers rather than at all consumers is called direct market advertising. These targeted consumers are reached through direct mail, catalogs, and telemarketing. This advertising can be personalized and customized. For example, yes, Encik Ahmad, you can drive a new Lexus for less than you think. Computer data from credit card and other purchases, zip code, telephone numbers, and organizational membership are a few of the ways consumers are identified through this type of direct market advertising. The next one is called out-of-home advertising. We are exposed to advertising even when we are away from home, even though we are not engaged in media consumption. Out-of-home advertising includes advertisement on billboards, street furnitures, public vehicles, and the digital screens we encounter everywhere on the road or places we visit. And the last type of advertising is known as public service advertising. Advertising does not only sell commercial products or services, but also promotes organization and theme of importance to the public, and it's called public service advertising. Advertisement by government on COVID-19 awareness, for example, is one of it. We have finally reached to the trends and convergence in advertising. The advertising industry today is showing a change in the traditional media to include the digital media in order to reach audience more effectively. The interactive media of internet, mobile, and gaming, as well as increased use of availability of improved mobile phones, less expensive computers, faster broadband, and extensive Wi-Fi connections provide support for expectation of further growth in global digital advertising. Digital advertising is now mainstream. MCMC stated that share of advertising spend is expected to see traditional media slowly lose out in many ways, from audience reach to revenue opportunities, as advertisers now shift advertising spend to interactive marketing opportunities online and across platforms offering mobility. Digital advertising has taken the world by storm. According to Accenture research in 2016, this is shown in the graph in this slide. The share of buyers' budget allocated to digital and mobile advertising is now equal to their budget for television, and far surpasses that for print ad. Accenture stated that nearly all advertising buyers they spoke with expect digital advertising to comprise more than 50% of their total marketing budget in 2 years. A number of them said digital could account for as much as 60%. The new media environment is able to offer sophisticated measurement and consumer targeting capabilities to reach the exact consumer segment desired. Example from the US market for advertisement in the new media, it indicates the potential for online TV with TV content watched daily switching to time shifted, on demand, on the web, or on a mobile device. Online advertising in formats such as search advertising, display advertising, video advertising, classified advertising, email marketing, affiliate marketing, mobile internet advertising, and advertising on social networks is expected to be key factor driving online advertising. Online media advertisements are also expected in gain traction in the automotive industry. Campaigns such as for elections, video game, sports sites, and news online. Trends and convergence in advertising. These are the four major elements that shape the advertising trends and convergence today. They are new and converging technologies, new economics, new creativity, and new relationship with consumers. Let's first look into the trends and convergence in advertising based on new and converging technologies. The production of advertising has been altered by computers. Computer graphics, morphing, that is known as digitally combining and transforming images, and other special effects are now common in national retail television advertising. And the same technology used to change the ads behind the batter in a televised baseball game is now employed to insert product placement into programs where no product placement advertising originally existed. Computer database and computerized printing have fueled the rapid growth of direct marketing advertising. But it is digital advertising, the convergence of all traditional forms of advertising with new digital technologies, that is attracting the most industry interest. In America, internet advertising exceeds radio, TV, newspaper, and magazine advertising revenue. Next, in trends and converging in advertising is new and converging technologies based on artificial intelligence or AI in digital advertising. Previously, advertisers used one advertisement fit all format. Today, artificial intelligence or AI tools can automatically optimize advertising spend and targeting. AI can process advertisement spend and targeting data, looking at your results, then learn what actions based on spending changes, targeting changes, and etc. that will drive better performance. It can do this at scale to across a large number of complex campaigns. AI is also used to improve personalization technique and strategies in digital advertising. Consumer online activities, interests, and devices used are taken into consideration when putting up an advertisement. AI can create a stronger brand connect with consumers, offering consumers with their preferred and frequently used product and services. For instance, Astro in Malaysia has implemented AI in collaboration with Microsoft in identifying user profile such as media consumption habits and social media activities. This approach enables advertisers to deliver relevant content at the right time through the right channel and align to consumer demand. Trends and convergence in advertising based on new economics. Why the rush towards digital? The biggest factor is the lure for greater returns. Media buyers believe the convergence of digital and traditional advertising and the large amounts of data increasingly available, this will help them more effectively target their audience. This will also lead to greater returns on their advertisement investment. Businesses think convergence and data will help them maximize the use of inventory, thus boosting their economic revenues. Trends and convergence in advertising based on new creativity or creative content. Creativity is the soul of advertising and branding. It gives life to messages about product and services that may otherwise be boring or insignificant in the hearts and mind of target customers. The industry today is more creative in its content creation and also in how they get these messages go across to their desired consumers. According to Stephen Vogel, the chief creative officer of Ogilvy and Mather, Germany, she stated that nothing is more efficient than creative advertising. Creative advertising is more memorable, longer lasting, works with less media spending, and builds a fan community faster. Numerous laboratory experiments have found that creative messages get more attention and lead to positive attitudes about the products being marketed. For example, product placement, web-based advertisement, video, and also video blogging, digital advertisement, or mobile technologies-based ads. Funny and strange concept of advertisement, as you can see in the slide, and also portable game device advertisement. Trends and convergence in advertising based on new relationship with consumers. Today's consumers are no longer passive media receivers, taking whatever the television networks and movie studios insist they should. Instead, they are empowered media users, increasingly free to control and shape the content they receive, and has the power to accept or reject content. This scenario creates new model of advertising called permission marketing, of which lead to the relationship between advertiser and consumer as partners, sharing information for mutual benefit. Consumers now have two choices: whether they want to exit, where they simply do not buy the product, or they voice, which they explain exactly why they are dissatisfied and what they would like instead. Trends and convergence in advertising based on social media. Social media platforms know how valuable their content is, and that's why they offer the option to sponsor or boost posts. Social media advertisement put your message in front of your target audience and encourage them to engage, to click through, and also to buy. Platforms like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter each have their own version of advertisement as shown in the pictures in this slide. Here, you can see how these advertisements appear on their respective feeds. Trends and convergence in advertising based on content video. Now, let's try to understand what happened when the audience segmentation is increased in advertising industry. Advertisers today face other challenges. As the number of media outlets for advertising grows, and as audience for traditional media are increasingly fragmented, advertisers have been forced to refine their ability to reach and speak to ever narrow audience segments. The ethnic composition is changing, and advertising is keeping pace. For example, in America, the African American constitute approximately 13% of the total American today, and Hispanics, now the nation's largest minority, makes up approximately 18%. These numbers required advertisers to strategically segment their advertising activities not to miss these ethnic compositions. The demographic segmentation is another factor to be considered by advertisers based on different personal and social characteristics among consumers, such as race, gender, and their economic level. In addition to demographic segmentation, advertisers are making increased use of psychographic segmentation, that is, appealing to consumer groups with similar lifestyles, attitudes, values, and behavior patterns. Dear students, We have finally reached the last slide of this chapter based on globalization and advertising. As media and national economies have globalized, advertising has adapted and in touch with these consumers worldwide from the effect of merging, acquiring, or affiliating with agencies from other parts of the world. Globalization also increased media advertisement spending locally and globally. What has changed has been the extent to which digital media content can be sourced, distributed, and accessed from any point in the world to any other point in this world. This has led to the rise of media platforms and content distributors such as YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Apple that also affects international regulatory and advertising and content media. Globalization has also led to extended discussion worldwide about the risk of cultural domination and cultural imperialism in relation to advertising and media content. Before we end this chapter, I would like to thank you for joining me today, and shall you have any questions pertaining to this topic, please share them with your respective lecturers. Until next time, please stay safe studying at home and Selamat Hari Raya. Bye for now.